Match day 4 in USL League One comes to a conclusion tonight in Sherman, Texas, with a matchup between two expansion clubs still looking for their first wins ever in league play. There's history on the line, and we're about to find out whether Westchester SC or Texoma FC will be the team to seize this opportunity. It's the third game for Texoma at historic Bearcat Stadium, and the first two did not quite go to plan for the fans in Magnolia and Red. This was their last league match, and their first league match as it was, against one Knoxville SC, who came out with a 2-0 victory at the home of the Birds. Coach Adrian Forbes said that his own team were the catalysts of the loss, giving away a couple of cheap goals in transition to one Knoxville. And although Texoma did not score in that match, Brandon McManus did notch the first goal in club history in their Open Cup defeat to Foro FC. He's a player who was signed out of the Open Tryout Combine because he impressed Forbes so much and was a player who stood out in that process among 200 who showed up to try out for this new professional team. Well, the first game in USL League One went a little better for Westchester SC. They weren't able to find a win, but they did get a respectable point on the road against Greenville Triumph. A first goal in club history scored by that man, Juan Carlos Obregon. But in the second half, his penalty canceled out by a penalty from Greenville, and that game finished 1-1 all square back on March 8th. You really won't find a striker in League One in finer form over the past year than Juan Carlos Obregon, runner-up for the Golden Boot last season, 20 goals in all comps for Charlotte Independence, and he followed his Charlotte coach, Dave Carton, over to Westchester SC, where he has 2 goals in 2 games for the brand new franchise. Well, the scene is set here in Texas. 2 brand new clubs on the verge of history as we prepare for our League One nightcap right here on ESPN+. Don't go anywhere. We got kickoffs and starting lineups coming up next. Matchup this is shaping up to be between these 2 expansion clubs. Texoma coach Adrian Forbes, he described to me the journey of an expansion franchise as that of a marathon. And of course, there's a lot of milestones along the way, but he called it the next first step, the first win in club history in USL League One. That's what's on the line for both of these clubs tonight. Texoma and Westchester will try to run that race. It's red and white of Texoma against the blue and gold of Westchester SC, and they're off. USL League One action right here on ESPN+. My name is Parker Johnson. Happy to be here with you from historic Bearcat Stadium. We start with Texoma sending it long. It'll be fascinating to see how these 2 teams line up shape-wise. We saw sort of back 3, back 5 looks in those graphics that we presented to you just a moment ago. Teams that can really look a little bit different with and without the ball. The first look we'll get here for Westchester is that of a set piece as Joel Johnson places the ball down alongside Noah Powder. And he's got bodies in blue lining up right on the edge of the penalty area. Clipped in high, carries out a play. It is a windy evening in Sherman, about an hour north of the Dallas area. 77 degrees at kickoff. A couple of scattered thunderstorms potentially expected later tonight, but nothing that will impact our match. However, wind gusts up to 24 miles an hour in the area. So you might see it wreak a little havoc on those long crosses like the set piece that we saw to start things off. Solomon Asante getting involved, drawing a foul. The former Phoenix Rising man, probably best known for his time there. Former Ghanaian Player of the Year back in 2017. What a sensational career that man has had, and very happy to have him in the League One ranks this year. First start, though, for Texoma after coming on as a substitute in their other 2 matches this season. It's a winless start so far for Texoma. They suffered a cup set at the hands of Foro FC in the first round of the US Open Cup. Then lost their first League One match to 1 Knoxville by a 2-0 scoreline. But Coach Forbes told me that there was a week of reflection during the international break, a week of assessment, and he said they're already so much better than they were this time last week. You see that kind of rapid development with these brand new clubs, bringing in a huge group of players, and he told me just about the challenges that exist, bringing 20 to 25 international guys into a place like Sherman, Texas. It's Will Perkins with the throw-in, trying to make it dangerous, almost treating it like a set piece as McManus hurries Dane Jacoman, but he has no problem claiming the lofted pass forward. Trying to play it out quickly with Westchester, who settle back into possession. The main changes for Westchester coming in the back line today. No Bobby Pierre at center back, who started their first couple of matches. Nice back heel there from Asante. And a nutmeg to follow from Texoma. Spangler playing it through. Johnnet almost on the end of it. Goalkeeper was out, and it's could be a deep shooting opportunity for the home side. Asante clips through. Spangler across. What a goal! 4 minutes in, and it's Brandon McManus. Sensational football from Texoma FC. Asante at the heart of it. Spangler gets the assist. And it's the rookie McManus. Second goal of the season, second in club history. A thing of beauty for the Birds. Look at Westchester. They are determined to get this thing back rolling. That is not the script that Dave Carton had written out for this one. On the road, going down early. And it's the first goal in USL League One history for Texoma FC. Something for these fans to celebrate here on a red out night at historic Bearcat Stadium. First 500 fans got rally towels, helping to contribute to what will be a raucous atmosphere, especially if Texoma keep playing like that. You can already see the influence that Asante has on this team. Great awareness as well from Spangler, who laid it off that final pass. Jacoman was out early, a strong decision as he sends it out of play. No offsides on the throw in here, so Johnnet can pick it up. He's behind the back line. He spots the goalkeeper out. Texoma flying with their tails up. See those two birds on their crest. Those are the state birds of Texas and Oklahoma, where this club gets its name. You have the northern mockingbird on the left, and on the right, the scissor-tailed flycatcher. As a shot comes in from Westchester, trying to respond here, but not finding either side of Mason McCready, who draws a great round of applause from the home fans. Here come Texoma. Spangler spotted the through pass. Looks like JP Jordan advancing forward. Toby Adewole on the carry for Westchester. Finds Samori Powder, who drops it to his brother Noah. Swung out wide. Cross into the middle, Obergone, and another save from McCready. Getting the gloves dirty early on. Noah Powder whipping it through. McCready had to be safe with it. Was able to parry it across to where his defense could clear, but an open game. Chances coming from both sides. So Westchester showing a strong response and some strong character. They never trailed in their first League One match. They were the first team on the board inside 12 minutes against Greenville. And although the Triumph did end up tying it up, they never had this experience playing down a goal. It was the same case in their Open Cup match, which they did come out victorious against Motown FC, advancing to the second round, where they will face off with New York Pan-Cypriot Freedoms. A test of the character of this young club out of Westchester, New York. Asante brings it down. He was looking for the run of Lamine Janet. The wind certainly at Westchester's back. We can see that in the early going as some of these long passes showing the tendency to just carry a little bit extra. Samori Powder looking for Blomestein. Asante dispossessed. Switch of play from Joel Johnson. And the cross dealt with by Jordan Chavez, who steps up here, and a whistle from the referee. Nonso spots the infraction. Free kick opportunity for Westchester in a dangerous shooting position, about 28 yards or so from goal. Maybe a touch closer than that. We've seen Juan Carlos Sobergon hit these for Charlotte. Scored a beaut of a free kick last year against forward Madison in the Jägermeister Cup. He's got that dead ball ability. Both his goals so far this season have come off penalties. This would be significantly tougher. Obergone. The wall did its job. Corner coming for the visitors. Well, a flying start here. If you joined us late, if you were checking out another one of the USL League One games on this evening, or perhaps just tuning in after the Henny Derby, Texoma up on an early Brandon McManus goal. Westchester on the corner. Will result in a goal kick here. They've definitely responded well since the goal, though. Already 3 shot attempts for Westchester to the 2 of Texoma. Again, that wind really seems to be aiding Texoma every time that Westchester goes long. As another long ball carries over everyone. Texoma trying to settle this match. As exciting as it is to score that early goal, I think the way the game has been so open ever since that first tally, something that they probably want to calm down a little bit here. It's given away from a throw-in. Obregon in the box. Oh, he doesn't miss a lot of those. It's a big save from McCready. 3 saves already from the Scottish goalkeeper, who made 5 against Knoxville. As we look again at this opportunity, the ball played through by Bolaños. Obregon has to do better there. Noah Powder with the left-footed delivery. Hooked high. Contested at the back post, but no contact for Westchester. There's Noah Powder getting a really cool opportunity tonight. The first time he gets to start alongside his little brother Samori, who's in his first year as a professional. They both play in the Trinidad and Tobago national system, and both born a stone's throw from Westchester County across the river in Edison, New Jersey. Texoma breaking into the box. Perkins might have been better off crossing that one. And it's distributed up the pitch by Jacoman. Asante connecting with Spengler. That was the partnership that crafted up the opening goal, as Brandon McManus, the goal scorer, goes down here.
Terry Jones Insurance Agency.
Welcome to the 2025 USL kickoff presented by Terminix. Throughout the month of March, the USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for all the action on ESPN and CBS Sports platforms. Free kick flipped in and flipped behind by Drew Jean-Baptiste. Second service comes in, dealt with well and claimed by Jacoman. But this play will be brought back as the referee needs to check on a potential head injury for Texoma here. It's Jordan Chavez who's gone down, the club captain. Chavez was the second signing in club history back in January. Native of California. He's played in League One before with CV Fuego, and a number of championship appearances to his name as well. I think he got taken out by Jacoman. And good to see him back up to his feet. Bolaños coming in field, spots the darting Obregon. Pass fell a little bit behind him, but there's the creativity from Christian Bolaños. Sorry, Jonathan Bolaños, man, very famous in League One for his time with Richmond Kickers. 11 assist season back in 2022 as they won the Shield. Stephen Payne knocking it out wide. Bolaños attempting a service, and these aerial passes, crosses, everything that's been high has not really been working for Westchester. The effects of the wind been quite clear in the early going. JP Jordan applying some pressure. Chance to win it in a high position for Texoma, but they safely navigate the ball back to Jacoman.
Please don't do that. Hey.
It really was just that one early opportunity for Texoma. Everything else going Westchester's way. Certainly sense that goal. As the players go to ground on the near touchline. Might have been a slip as much as anything from Calfo. Bolaños, dangerous square ball that's intercepted by Spengler. Doesn't have a lot of help alongside him. Here now comes Lamine Jané, the Gambian international. Fires it off of the backside of a blue shirt and out for a Texoma corner. Jané has been a real spark for Texoma in the young season. He had the assist on McManus's goal in the Open Cup. Came on as a halftime sub against One Knoxville and helped Texoma push on in that game. Diego Pepe, it seems that Brandon McManus has taken up more of the central position, allowing Jané to play off of him in that left half space, but very willing to run in behind. And it's given Solomon Asante great freedom right underneath them to help create that opening goal. Missed touch there from Jean-Baptiste. McManus holds it up, and Texoma were playing on, but it's whistled and called back by Nonso. Texoma are furious that they were not allowed to play advantage in that sequence. See the late contact from Jean-Baptiste, who gave the ball away. Seemed like they were still carrying it forward, and now they're not allowed to take the free kick quickly either, as the referee signals that the whistle hadn't been blown yet. Frustration mounting for those in red and white. So Westchester get their bodies behind the ball. A few more numbers making their way forward for Texoma. Perkins. Headed away and pounced on by Spengler. And It's off the face, I believe, of Kilwine as that ball got sent away, but kept in play along the back line by Texoma. McManus, a willing runner. And JP Jordan, the Solar SC products, combining with Asante. Enjoying himself through the first 22 minutes in his first start in Texoma red and white. Perkins all the way back to McReady, whose presence must be praised in this first half. He's already come up with 3 pretty significant saves, the biggest of which from Obregon in a one-on-one opportunity. Here comes Jane. Well-timed tackle from Adewole, sees it out of play. He was the last man back. Touch around the corner from Jane, a tiny bit too heavy, and put that ball close enough for Adewole to stick his foot in. Away comes Obregon. Finding Noah Powder, who makes Spengler slip and keeps motoring with it. Obregon looking for a shot. Well blocked in the end by Texoma after he was initially given a lot of space there. It's a much different look in the midfield for Texoma today. We've seen Spengler starting as a more attacking midfielder in their opening couple of games. Asante has not been on the pitch. Asante is more so the 10 today, meaning Spengler has a bit more defensive responsibility. Corner sent in by Westchester. Texoma have dealt with those opportunities well. They've got the big defenders to do so with Calfo, Kilwine, Chavez, making up a very sturdy back line. Spengler trying to spin it up the sideline. Jordan pounces on the loose touch. Texoma want to go quickly. They are allowed to this time as Lamine Jane bursts past one, striding up the left side in a tussle with Adewole. Referee was all on top of it. Waves away any claims of a penalty. Praised loudly by the home support. In truth, Jane all by himself on that play, and he was just running out of real estate. Adewole did well, and not for the first time one-on-one against the Gambian. Spengler, lovely touch. Has Jane back to Spengler. Asante. Huge opportunity gone to waste for Texoma. It looked like they had at least a 2-on-1 momentarily, and it was the one-touch pass back from Jane that halted the momentum. I don't think Spengler was expecting to receive it back after he did very well to get around the defender in the first place. Jordan and Spengler combine. Some more intricate play from Texoma, showing what they can look like at their best. Jane has stayed down at the edge of the Westchester penalty area. Now back up to his feet. Perkins running a little hot. We do have a free kick here instead of a throw-in, as you see Dave Carton in your picture. The Irish manager who spent most of his career in the Charlotte area, first as a player and a coach at Winthrop University, just south of Charlotte, and then many years with Charlotte Independence, working through the system from the Academy to USL League Two, and an assistant with the first team as well, helping guide them to a 2023 League One championship. Blomstein on the chase. Big Dutch striker. Can't get there before Jordan Chavez. But Connor McGlynn picks it up. Johnson spreading it out to Bolaños. Curled in. Put away yet again by Texoma. Deep cross caught in the wind. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Come at you from historic Sherman Bearcat Stadium tonight in North Texas. It holds 6,500 at capacity, but rumor has it that it can fit as many as 10,000 under the Friday night lights. There's a big rivalry around here called the Battle of the Axe between Sherman and local rival Denison, the two big high schools in the area. There's a slip there from Jacoman. Presents the ball here for Texoma. Spengler out for a corner. So the home match is here taking place at the home of the Sherman Bearcats, and Texoma made sure to even things out. Didn't want to be accused of any bias. They train at the home of Denison, so both sides of the rivalry supported by this local footballing club. Looking for a second goal here from the set piece. Nodded across. Perhaps a chance to break for Westchester, seeking some numbers in transition. Texoma getting back well. Powder has some free space though. Noah Powder, he's got his brother alongside him to the left and will dish it out wide. Samori Powder, edge of the box. 1-1. Connor McGlynn with a stinger from the edge of the area. McCready beaten for the first time tonight as a attacking corner kick turns into a goal on the other end. And we are level in the first half in North Texas. The Powder brother connection starting things off, laid off by Samori. Before the cameras could even catch it, McGlynn punched that into the top corner. Great finish there from the big midfielder. Scoring for his local professional team, a Queens native. Made his name with Hartford Athletic, where he did score 10 goals in 102 appearances in USL Championship play. That is his first for Westchester, becoming just their second goal scorer in club history after Juan Carlos Obregon. We have a tasty contest here through about 32 minutes.
Jones Insurance Agency.
Spangler launching it in. Headed down. McManus, claims of a handball on the block. But we play on. Asante knocked away by Jacoman, and McManus still pleading his case about a possible handball. See the nimble creativity of Asante on the byline. Texoma eager to regain their advantage here. Headed high, and the foul goes against the home side here. Chavez whistled for climbing on the back of the defender.
Attention please. Westchester SC goal scored by number 6, Connor Becklin in the 28th minute. The assist on the goal by number 7, Cyril Patterson. Free kick brought to you by
Adrian Forbes deep in conversation with the fourth official. He's been certainly displeased with a few of those decisions against his team, but can't blame the referees on the goal they conceded from an attacking corner. Not dealing well enough in transition, not picking up McGlynn at the edge of the area. But his team did produce a pretty fantastic opener, so a lot to be happy with from a Texoma perspective. Stats showing that since that first Texoma goal, it really has been all Westchester. 53% of the ball, 9 shots to 2. Westchester, a team that before the season was tabbed as the number 3 team in the power rankings before they'd even played a single match. They're now in 4th position in those rankings heading into the week after that opening draw against Greenville. Doesn't harm you too much. Get a result like that on the road. Texoma, on the other hand, after their 2-0 opening defeat to Knoxville, drops all the way down to 14th out of 14 in the power rankings. Got a point to prove tonight. Seeking their first League One points to climb out of the cellar. And this week's slate features our first 2 matchups between expansion teams. There are 5 of them this year in USL League One. Tonight we got FC Naples, who have had a flying start to the season, coming into the week at the top of the standings, taking on Portland Hearts of Pine in their first game in the USL in club history. That game, by the way, if you're curious, still 0-0. About 15 minutes left to go there. Spokane up 2-0 on Greenville right now. Omaha 3-1 in front of Tormenta. And earlier in the Henny Derby, the Mingos getting the win over Richmond Kickers. Busy night in League One. But we're happy that you joined us here for this one. 37th minute. And a slip here from Samori Powder presents the ball to Spangler. closed down by Baptiste. Asante connecting. Looking for Jane. Jane caught between a touch and a pass off for Asante. Here come Westchester. Obergone looking for help. Spreads it out in the direction of Payne. McGlynn to Bolaños. He kept it in. The ball just spins along the end line before it's grabbed up by McGreedy. Strong chest from McManus, who finds a seat on the sideline. Chavez chased down by Blomestein. And again, it's Solomon Asante. Excellent in the early going. Positive, looking for the ball at every opportunity when Texoma are in possession. Key in the build-up for the first goal, with the hockey assist, if you will, before Spengler tapped it across to McManus. And a break here for some hydration. Sun setting in Sherman, Texas, and those players observing Ramadan, chance to break their fast and get some fluids here. And 5 minutes to go until the halftime break. Opening goal from Brandon McManus came very early in this match. I think we'll get a chance to take a look at the goals that got us here. It was McManus and McGlynn for Westchester. Sit back and enjoy this one from Texoma just minutes into the match. Brandon McManus, second goal of the season for him. The interplay coming from Asante and Spengler, and then this was the response from Westchester. 27 minutes later, McGlynn with a rocket into the top corner. Assist from Samori Powder to get Westchester on level terms. Westchester with 9 shots to just 3 from Texoma. Texoma have only put 1 on target, and it was the goal. Pretty much 50-50 in terms of the possession stats so far. Finely balanced with a key stretch here before halftime. 5 minutes that could really change the dynamic of this game. Stephen Payne carving up some ground on the right flank, working against Davey Mason. Slipped it through his legs, but also slipped on the turf before he could scramble around him. Joel Johnson First offside of the match whistled against Westchester. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL. From the academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Texoma match it with an offside of their own. It was a problem for them in the standout stat of their US Open Cup defeat. They had 12 offsides whistled in that match. And in the meantime, it looks like we may be getting a first half substitution here. Ozzy Ramos is preparing to make his way onto the pitch. Angelo Calfo will be withdrawn. So a center midfielder in Ramos on for a center back in Calfo. That may necessitate a change from the back three to a back four. We'll see how it shakes out on the pitch. But it wouldn't change the overall system too much, as Ramos would be more of a defensive midfielder, sort of sitting right in front of that back line anyways. Calfo making his second start of the season, and his night unfortunately ends early. Hard to tell exactly what went wrong for him. I don't think that would be a tactical substitution. I have to imagine it was one forced by injury. Their only play I can think of was the one awkward slide tackle that he had down on this near side by the Texoma bench. And I didn't notice any uncomfortable movements from him after that, but you never know when those muscle injuries can cause problems. Noah Powder looking for Obregon at the back stick. It squirts through to Bolaños, and Joel Johnson well over the goal. But you can tell straight away how the fresh faces and new partnerships along the back line might have got their wires crossed on that first foray forward for Westchester without Calfo on the pitch. Five minutes of stoppage time to be added on here in Sherman. A couple of injury breaks, couple of goals, and the quick hydration break is around the 40-minute mark as well, contributing to this longer than normal first half stoppage time. Seen over the end line for a Westchester goal kick.
There will be 5 minutes of extra time in the first half.
Taken by Jacoman, the Pittsburgh native, who gets it into play quickly. Grew up in the Riverhounds Academy system. Made his way through DC United as well before playing collegiately at Penn. JP Jordan. And Ramos with a sighter, nearly his first touch of the match. Late first half substitute. After taking the last one short, Jacoman will go for the Route 1 approach.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Texoma FC in the 44th minute. Entering the match is number 3, Ozzy Ramos. Leaving the match is number 5, Angelo Calfo.
Amstein battling for it. Does well to get the better of Ramos. Noah Powder. Carried away by Jordan. Tackle from Johnson secures the possession as well, but given away. John A. And the whistle goes. More frustration for Texoma. Not the first time tonight that they haven't been allowed to play advantage. McManus, who stayed down on the sideline and was fouled on the play. This was that contact that left him down on the side of the pitch, and you can see John A still going, and Spengler certainly not agreeing with the decision to pull back the play by the referee. Referee flashing the yellow card, just awaiting here to see exactly who received it. It was Adewole, the Westchester defender, as the free kick is anything but dangerous. Jacoman trying to go long, one last opportunity as we tick towards the 50-minute mark. Adrian Forbes still remonstrating with the fourth official. A half that started so brightly for Texoma and so open between both teams, really grinding to a halt in the later stages. Lots of stoppages in play, a couple injuries and a sub. And we have reached the first half break. Well, frustrations for Texoma, but also their first home goal in league play. Something to celebrate for the home fans, as Brandon McManus scored what was the fastest goal so far in the 2025 League One season. A flying start for the Birds, matched, however, by Westchester, who got on the board through Connor McGlynn, and 1-1 is our score at halftime. We'll show you how it all went down on the halftime show here as you are watching our nightcap from USL League One between these two expansion sides. We'll be right back with more from Sherman. in North Texas. Texoma and Westchester both looking for their first wins in USL League One history. We'll have to wait another 45 minutes to see if one of them will come away with it. But in the meantime, a chance for us to look back at the country's oldest as Westchester advanced into the second round. So we'll be looking for more heroics from Obregon as halftime continues here. We'll come back with news and notes as we look around USL League One on this beautiful Saturday night.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Right up through the middle, a shot! While still going, he shoots! And right cross! Long shot from range! Unstoppable strike!
Gotta take a big chance. I'm ready for the big bang. I don't take a second because I wanna be the big champ.
A busy night tonight in USL League One, and it's been a busy week as well. Of course, we were on international break, and we saw 25 current USL Championship and USL League One players called up to their national teams. One of those for Texoma FC was Donald Banamna, who starred for the Central African Republic and got a couple more caps under his belt. Meanwhile, we're seeing two expansion teams tonight. Then one of the next ones up is Boise, Idaho, who broke ground on the club's new stadium this week. And of course, the biggest news in the land, promotion and relegation coming to USL after a supermajority of club owners voted to implement the promotion and relegation system. Exciting times indeed around League One, and that news really got everyone buzzing this week. The action on the pitch, just the Westchester schedule, what's coming up for them. We mentioned the travels to AV Alta. The road trip continues with Richmond Kickers and Spokane Velocity, but do remember, you see the gap in the dates between those first three matches. After AV Alta, before the AV Alta match, they will have their second round fixture in the Open Cup against New York Pan Cypriot Freedoms. And then that open week between the Richmond and Spokane matches, that is when the new USL Jägermeister Cup starts, which this year includes teams from the USL Championship as well. halftime here at historic Bearcat Stadium in Sherman, Texas. 1-1 our score between Texoma and Westchester in the all-expansion club matchup tonight. Let's show you how we got to this 1-1 point with our first half highlights. It was an outstanding goal early on. You can see the sparks of attack from Texoma that didn't quite result in a goal in that first opportunity, but the second phase of play turned into a goal for Brandon McManus. The ball over the top from Asante, squared across by Ajmer Spengler, and it was Brandon McManus with his second goal of the season for Texoma in all competitions. First one in League One play. But really, after that point, a lot of attacks coming from Westchester. They had the wind at their backs in that first half. Sometimes it caused them a little bit of trouble, especially on their set-piece deliveries, but in the end, it certainly propelled them forward and helped pin back Texoma. You see the chances keep coming here. Mason McCready keeping the home team in it early on in this match with a trio of fantastic saves. And then on the extended transition opportunity after a Texoma corner, this was the equalizer. Connor McGlynn stepping up and stabbing it home on the assist from Samori Powder. Great finish on that. McCready was finally beaten, and 1-1 was the score at the halftime break. Here is how it looked on the stat breakdown. Things got evened out a bit as the half wore on, but pretty even in terms of possessions, in terms of the corner kicks. And we are set up for a awesome second half here in Sherman, Texas. Both teams still looking for their first wins in League One play. Halftime talks given by Adrian Forbes of Texoma, Dave Carton of Westchester. This really is a big match for these two. You look at what FC Naples have done to start this season, one of the expansion teams, still sitting top of the table so far after tonight's result. They got a draw against Portland Hearts of Pine. And this is our other year one versus year one matchup. Coach Forbes of Texoma told me that he knew that would be a big storyline heading into this game, but he was very quick to remind me and everybody else that these are not year one players. These are a lot of veteran guys. You look at the likes of Solomon Asante, a two-time championship MVP, seasoned internationals as well, and already. If you're just joining us here for the second half in our League One nightcap, there was no Diego Pepe from the start for Texoma. That was the sort of one surprise in the lineup. He's dealing with a small injury knock this week. And with the games starting to come thick and fast in the month of April, smart to just be cautious with him, and they still got plenty of firepower up there. McManus converting early on, and Asante showing his skills. Solomon Asante getting his first start of the season for Texoma in this one. Thinking about the star striker on the opposite side, Juan Carlos Obregon. He really had a pretty quiet first half. There was one huge opportunity, and typically, he's the kind of player who only needs one and takes it. But when he broke through into the box in the first half, he took a left-footed shot that was saved by McCready. We didn't show you that one in our highlight package, but that was a real key moment in the match. It was probably the best chance other than the goal for Westchester. And here's another one for the boys in blue. And a second goal of the match. Early on in the second half, Westchester have turned around and completed the comeback. believe it was Adewole. A flick from Connor McGlynn. Claims of offside from the home defenders who were flat-footed, and Adewole first to react. McGlynn now with a goal and an assist. Toby Adewole with the 5th goal of his professional career, the 29-year-old center back. What a moment for him, thrown into the starting lineup tonight. Playing alongside Baptiste, where his normal partner Pierre out. Able to make the difference on the set piece. Things that started so well for Texoma and then just unable to keep control of this match. But there are still a long way to go in this one. If Texoma can find those combinations they had in the early going, especially with Asante and Spengler pulling the strings. They showed plenty of impetus to be able to break down the Westchester back line. Almost boots it away. Spengler can see what he was looking for there. And now Texoma in the position that Westchester were in the first half, having that wind at their backs, up to 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts tonight in North Texas. Helping carry that ball through and into the hands of Jacoman. John A. involved again, winning a free kick for Texoma. Samori Powder working it forward for Juan Carlos Obregon. Always dangerous inside the box, but Mason sends it up the pitch. Looking for help. Able to hang on to possession, and now it's Asante on the turn. McManus went a little early. Not sure that ball was intended to go all the way through to the left side, but he had to check his run. Jacoman able to get there before Mason, who was making some ground up the left side. Blomstein's hold-up play leaving a little bit to be desired as he's whistled for the foul after failing to control it. But he's a player who definitely has goals in him. 37 goals in 75 career matches. And that 1-in-2 rate is sort of the going rate for a top striker. He was doing it for Volendam in the Dutch 3rd division. As McCready deals with the long ball. And then the whistle goes. Payne and McManus both seem a little bit confused, but I believe it was whistled against the Westchester man. Stephen Payne, who I'm sure will be happy to see the scoreline of the Henny Derby when he checks it after this match. Big win for the Flamingos, where Payne played the last couple of seasons. In fact, Richmond coming into tonight, a chance to go top of the table if they had won in that rivalry matchup, but instead it's Naples holding serve. They've been the best of the bunch out of the expansion team so far. Westchester currently in position to notch their first win of the campaign and continue an unbeaten start themselves. Nonso just making sure to keep a tight whistle here early in the second half. It was the last 15 minutes or so of our first period where this game started to get a little bit chippy, a little bit more broken up, some stoppages in play, some injuries, a lot more whistles. And we've even seen just in Nonso's disinterest in letting the advantage play when there's been a foul called in this game. He's really tried to keep things tight. Blomstein holding off Ramos and winning the free kick. As another whistle blows. Blomstein doing his best to wind up Jordan Chavez, and it seems to be working, but the free kick will be Westchester's here, as looks like Chavez might have earned himself a caution in the process. There's the confirmation. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. First 500 in attendance tonight, getting rally towels at historic Bearcat Stadium as they went for the red out tonight. Red color inspired by the Red River that splits Texas and Oklahoma at its border. And the magnolia, the flower of Oklahoma, providing the white tones in their club identity. Really cool mixture of those two states that come together in this unique region in North Texas, Southern Oklahoma. They've really engaged the community. 3,200 strong at Bearcat Stadium for the opener against Knoxville. Expecting a similar figure here tonight. They've been loud, they've been proud. They had a lot more to cheer about at the beginning of this one with the early goal from McManus. Since then, a lot of blue and gold. And as the game has continued to be fractured in the second half, it's really benefited Westchester. Trying to strike here on the break. Bolaños. Corner for the visitors.
Joe Brown attorney, www.joebrown.law.
Powder with his right arm in the air. Finds Joel Johnson, back to Powder, back post. In a very dangerous area, and it seemed a moment of pause from the on-rushing strikers. Not sure if that one was gonna remain on target or if it needed a touch. And they were a split second late. Obregon and Jean-Baptiste were both back there. John A. did very well to get to that ball before everyone else, but it soars over the head of McManus in the middle, who was the only option for the cross. In the meantime, there was a yellow card issued to a member of the Texoma staff. So add that to the running tally tonight. It's 1-1 as far as the players are concerned. 19 combined fouls between the two teams. And a stoppage here to take on Drew Jean-Baptiste. There's Coach Forbes, Texoma's leading man, not just the head coach, but also the sporting director of this club. And this man is truly a do-it-all soldier. We talked to him this week, and he was hanging out at the practice facility on his way to go home, where his wife, Shelly, was cooking up the post-training meal for the players. And then she did the same in the pre-match pasta today as well. It's not always the easiest job when you're starting a new franchise, and Forbes was indefatigable in his energy and his excitement for this project. He continuously described it to me as the marathon. He said, we can't get ahead of ourselves here, no matter if we get this big result tonight or not. Can't let the team get too high or too low, because the goal here is longevity. It is keeping this team around for the fans in North Texas and Southern Oklahoma. It is to be here for the long haul. And his experiences growing up in England, playing at Norwich, Swansea, Blackpool, and Luton, coaching as well at Norwich and Luton after the fact, they've all helped him get to this position where he could come here to Texoma and really put his imprint on this club. The results haven't been there so far, but he was excited about what is to come. We've seen little pieces of that tonight on the pitch. So Daniel Bowman making his way onto the fields. And Rashid Tete will make his Westchester debut as well. Joel Johnson coming off, replaced by Bowman, so that'll be a midfield swap. And Tete on to replace the injured Jean-Baptiste. Westchester already without a couple defenders tonight, Bobby Pierre and Kimar Lawrence. Some fans were certainly excited to see the Jamaican Lawrence, a longtime MLS star with New York Red Bulls. But he was unfit for tonight's match. Stripped down to the parts, Westchester, but still in position for a big result here on the road. Forbes can add a yellow card to his long list of paperwork that he'll have later on. Header comes in, And the whistle going against Texoma on the attacking free kick situation. The tension is boiling. Frustration you can see written on Coach Forbes' face down there in the technical area. He wanted nothing more than a positive result, something to pay off the energy that the fans have brought to these first 3 home matches.
Also entering the match is number 12, Rashid Tete. Leaving the match is 35, Andrew John Baptiste.
Asante trying to provide the spark for Texoma. Finding a challenge from Bolaños. It's back to Jordan Chavez. Now Preston Kilwine. John A. bursts forward, looking for the cutback. Texoma in front of goal. Adewole did just enough to shield it off for Jacoman. Great opportunity once again created by John A. And this is where they lack that striker's instinct that Diego Pepe is often providing in that position. Obergone breaking through. Kilwine on the slide. A huge fist pump from the senior defender, shutting down one of the most lethal men in League One. A yellow card issued after the play, and I'm truly at a loss for words at this point. Here's another look. Kilwine just hawking him down, and a perfectly timed challenge. The corner coming in, and they will do it again from that side. And we have confirmation that the yellow card was given to Mason McCready, the Texoma goalkeeper. Still unclear exactly what happened. You can see him here still discussing it with the referee, trying to figure out what the decision was there. In the meantime, Texoma player down, and you'll see the collision here. It was Chavez who had the same issue in the first half, so extra concern now. I'm sorry, it's Perkins. Cut the tension with a knife at historic Bearcat Stadium. Texoma off to a strong start in the first 15 minutes of the second half. They've controlled 70% of the ball in that period. Nothing to show for it so far. Westchester with the corner. Make no mistake, they'd be happy if this scoreline stands. Bolaños, great recovery, tracking back as his defensive teammates were up for the corner kick. Ramos trying to start another attack. Davey Mason looking for the cross. Squirts out to Ramos. Spengler looking for his left foot. Closed down by 2 defenders. Powder with the foot in.
rebound.
The biggest challenge is just getting the ball to Spengler. Once you do that, the hard part is over. Watch him work. Adrian Forbes said that it is an absolute joy to watch this man with the ball because of his technical abilities. Here he is whipping in the service. Chavez was rising, but Jacoman went higher. He's had very safe hands, especially on those crosses tonight. Certainly nothing he could have done about Texoma's goal. But he will continue to be tested in the second half. Again, wind blowing in the faces of the Westchester defense. Pushing on the homestanding Birds of Texoma. Chavez going in and winning it fairly. You can see the passion of those defenders. Kilwine first, now Chavez. Last-ditch tackles. Trying to keep a third goal off the board for Westchester. Powder on the corner. Adewole knocking it back. Bolaños. Adewole not typically the man sending the crosses in. He's a little better at finishing them, as he proved with the second goal for Westchester. Samori Powder. Substitution on the way for Westchester SC. This is Prince Sadie, the Liberian international, making his way on as an attacking switch for Cohen Blomestein, who was really kept very quiet tonight. Not many big chances to speak of for the Dutchman. Getting his second start in all competitions this season. And Sadie on, a man who started the other two matches for Westchester. Certainly providing a much more dynamic profile up top. And that will help as Texoma begins to chase this match. Just give that extra outlet for Westchester on the counter. Kilwine. Kept in by Stephen Payne, who draws some contact, and the whistle from Emi Nonso.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Westchester SC on the 78th minute. Man match number 3, Prince Sadie. Leaving the match.
That was the 30th foul combined between the two teams tonight. As Bolaños runs into a wall of red and white stripes. Bowman gets it back. Daniel Bowman slid away, but Obregon is free in the box. He's brought to the ground, but he was offside beforehand. Would have been a certain penalty there, but definitely standing behind the last man. Great buildup, though, from Westchester. Bowman not able to get a shot off fast enough. We'll give Will Perkins the benefit of the doubt and say that he knew Obregon was offside there. by Texoma.
Free kick brought to you by Terry General Insurance Agency.
See kill line there getting some icy hot or something like that. Keeping things fresh and helping him stay hidden over there on the sideline. Fired in across the 6-yard box. Headed back through as Jordan happy to see that one out of play. A strong bump from Sadie. One of the few that we haven't seen whistled. John A to leave it for Perkins. He's the one with the long throw in for the Birds. Looking to turn this into a set piece opportunity. Chavez strides his way forward. Here comes from Perkins. A little bit of a high trajectory on it. He can cross the ball back in, looking for Jordan. Obergone just pulling his hand away in time. Almost got caught handling the ball inside his own penalty area. Ramos picks it up, seeking out John A. One of the few he's not able to track down.
Entertainment, your DJ and music.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. McManus felt he was tugged back. Adewole enjoying the frustration of the Texoma forward. He's the game winner as things stand. Toby Adewole on a set piece here in the second half. Westchester with a big string of games coming up. And this would be a great building block to work from. Foul whistled against Noah Powder.
Free kick brought to you by Terry General Insurance Agency.
Jordan's touch got away from him. Now it's McGlynn carrying through the lines. Displaying that strong running power that got him in position for his first half goal. But the service way too deep for Bolaños. Will allow Westchester to set up a bit of a press here. As Mason throws it up the line. Dangerous but well-calculated pass from Dane Jacomet, not matched by his teammate up the sideline. Driven away by Mason into a perfect area for Sadie. And he hog ties Will Perkins.
If you get a yellow card alive, call Joe
Easy
Brown
decision
Attorney,
for the referee to give the yellow card here. Knew exactly what he was doing, Sadie. Two yellows for each team now, at least on the player side of things. One staff member as well for, or two staff members, I should say, for Texoma. Deflection could have gone anywhere. Asante begging his team to come forward and take this quickly. Texoma with just 10 minutes plus stoppage time to try to get something from this match where they started so brilliantly. Scoring a goal in the 4th minute with Brandon McManus. Jacoman was held back. Infraction spotted by the referee as Westchester relieved the pressure. And the way that this second half has been so broken, so many dead balls, so many whistles, it's all played into Westchester's hands. There just hasn't been a chance for Texoma to really mount any extended pressure on the Westchester back line. They've had a couple chances here and there, but nothing consistent to turn the tide of this match back in their favor. Another yellow card, this time for Ramos.
If you get a yellow card, call Joe Brown Attorney, www.joebrown.live.
Nice trick from Sadie. Looking for some Maury Powder. With this result, Westchester, if they're able to hold on for all 3 points, they would go up to 4 points from 2 matches, equaling the point totals of one Knoxville, Union Omaha, among others. I know it's early on to be looking at the table, but I'm sure both teams aware of the fact that it's another expansion team sitting at the top of the mountain so far in League One. FC Naples continuing its unbeaten start tonight, and that is a rough challenge from Ajmir Spangler. The referee will stick with the yellow card here. I think there's a case to be made that that could have been a straight red. Definitely a lot more to that one than some of the lighter yellow cards we've seen offered out tonight. But the primary concern here is for Noah Powder, because that is a very, very dangerous way to come in. Spangler left his feet, took down the Trinidad and Tobago international. Get another look here. I mean, for me, that is very dangerous, and I think he's lucky to still be on the pitch here, but good sportsmanship from Asante. The 35-year-old trying to make apologies for his junior teammate. Spangler, just 24 in his second year as a pro. And thankfully for Westchester, Noah Powder back to his feet. No worse for wear. Obregon cutting across, Bolaños! And the meltdown for Texoma continues. A third goal for Westchester. Jonathan Bolaños back in League One and back on the score sheet, assisted by Obregon. You have to imagine that's enough to carry Westchester to the 3 points tonight. Look at the control. Nobody there at the back post for Texoma. McCready left stretching, and the shirt discarded. As Westchester close in on a first league win in club history, building on the back of the draw in Week 1 against Greenville, the win in the Open Cup against Motown. And they'll make a couple of changes here to try to see this thing out. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Bolaños continues his prolific form across the last 3 seasons. That makes 44 combined goals and assists in his last 71 matches, counting League One and his time in MLS Next Pro with Huntsville City. Spangler's corner finding no one. Disconnect representative of the struggle that Texoma has faced since starting the scoring off here some 80 minutes ago. Now we see Erman Machek and the debutant here, Mink Peters, number 14. One of a number of Dutch players on the Westchester squad, built out with a very intentional connection to New York City's past as New Amsterdam. It's baked into the identity of the team. They got their colors of blue and gold. The blue comes from the Dutch flag, on which it's paired with the classic orange that soccer fans will associate with that nation. But they went for gold to represent the Golden Apple, which is the nickname of Westchester County. Peters will get his first chance to make an impact by taking this corner kick. Prince AD checking back, firing across, just over the top. I believe that was Makic with his first touch.
Please, substitution for Westchester SC 87th minute. Entering the match is number 18, Magic. Leaving the match is number 66, Noah Powell. Also, entering the match is number 14, Nick Peters. Leading the match is number 17, Jonathan Bolos.
Spengler taken down after the shot. Free kick coming for Texoma, trying to come away with something before we hit the 90-minute mark. Cause the blood pressure to rise just a little bit. Had a couple good options here, Asante and Spengler. Depends if you want the left or the right. We've definitely seen Asante score a few of these in his time in USL Championship. No trouble for Jacoman on this occasion.
Stoppage time tonight is brought to you by Spa 31.
Will be 4 minutes of stoppage time to be added on. Not much left for Texoma. McManus on the chase. Keeping it alive for Asante. Back to McManus. Lamine Janet. Looks like this ball is not going to trickle over the touchline. In fact, it did just in the nick of time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time in the second half.
Janet looking to set up a shot on his left foot. Away comes Sadie, beaten to it by Killwine. Janet again, and flying in. It was Donald Bonamna. Asante combining with Bonamna. Texoma trying to find something to take with them at the end of this match. It was such an impressive start. And since then, Westchester has been in complete control. Great support from the fans all the way into the 94th minute here. A historic Bearcat Stadium. We're still yet to see their team notch a positive result this season. And we have a second yellow card. That was Spengler, who flew in with a rash yellow card challenge that he may have been lucky to still be on the pitch for. That second yellow looks a little soft, but he can hardly have any complaints. Another look at what he did, dragging back Obregon in transition. I think anybody who's not on a yellow card would be very likely to go in the book for that. Maybe it's a little soft as a second yellow, but as I said before, hard to have many complaints given the way that his first one came about. And Forbes reminding him of that. Peters lashing off a shot in the final minute here. Sadie unable to keep that on target. And we reach our finale. First win in USL League One for Dave Carton as head coach of Westchester SC. Texoma still winless after a couple matches. And it's an impressive second half performance from Westchester after this match was tied at the break. Texoma scored first, but after that, all blue and golds. Westchester 4 points from their first 2 League One matches. They will leave North Texas with lots to be happy about. We're going to wrap this one up after a quick break. 3-1, your final score from Sherman.
Please give them a round of applause and then come on over.
Final score of 3-1, a road win for Westchester SC, their first in League One history. A match coming in between 2 of our 5 expansion franchises for 2025. Sees Westchester SC go up to 4th now in the early League One table with a win and a draw through their first 2 matches. This is how it all went down. Things started so well for Texoma early on. They didn't quite score on the first passage of play, but as the ball recycled, Solomon Asante crafted up some magic, and Spengler, at this point in the match, providing an assist for McManus. But it was all downhill from there for the home side. In the 30th minute, Westchester got on the board. They broke off of a Texoma corner, and Connor McGlynn with the shot from distance, beating McCready, who to that point had made a trio of phenomenal saves to keep the clean sheet. But it was broken before halftime, and as we rolled into the second half, a set-piece goal from Westchester SC. Toby Adewole reacting at the back post. A flick from McGlynn to get him an assist on the night as well. And a big goal for the defender to put Westchester in front. They sealed the deal late on in this match, with the third goal coming from a broken Texoma side that left Bolaños wide open inside the box. great work from Obregon as he found his teammate who tucked it home and secured the 3 points for Westchester. Well, they said that this would be the next first step for these two expansion teams, and it was Westchester coming away with their first win in USL League One history. Plenty of story left to be written this year, but tonight it was all blue and gold. For the rest of our great team here in Sherman, Texas, I'm Parker Johnson signing off. Your final score, Westchester 3, Texoma 1. Have a good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.